96.9 WBZH and 101.1 WHSM, Hayward's home for real news and great conversation. Here's your daily news roundup.
For Muskie 101 News, I'm Maddie Schaefer. The Spooner Memorial Library will be putting on a mini Renaissance fair this Saturday at Spooner Railroad Park. The event runs from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. with a working blacksmith shop, live-action role-playing demonstrations, and an art show. There will also be crafts for all ages, along with displays from local fiber artists. Anyone who attends can come dressed up in Renaissance attire or just show up as they are. The library says the event will mix art and history with plenty of hands-on activities throughout the day. More information and registration can be found on the Spooner Memorial Library website. The Brule St. Croix chapter of the North Country Trail Association is leading several hikes throughout northwest Wisconsin over the next several weeks. The next hike is September 5th in the Brule River State Forest. The 5-mile route will take hikers through the Brule River Valley overlooks, starting at 9 a.m. from the trailhead on Samples Road. 2 more outings are planned later in September. The group will hike 4.5 miles through the Bayfield County Forest on September 12th, followed by a North Country Trail Day celebration on September 26th at Palmer's Landing near Solon Springs. That celebration starts with a paddle on St. Croix Lake, followed by a potluck lunch and a 2.5-mile hike along the Brule Bog Boardwalk. The series wraps up October 10th with a 3-mile hike from Minnesota into Wisconsin. All hikes are led by experienced trail volunteers. For more information, visit the events page on the North Country Trail Association website. The Hayward Community Choir is looking for singers for this year's Christmas cantata. Rehearsals start September 27th and will be held Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Hayward High School. The choir will perform December 3rd, 4th, and 6th. For more information, email haywardcommunitychoir@gmail.com. Congressman Tom Tiffany visited HV Acres Farm in Osseo on Friday as part of his statewide Protecting Wisconsin Farmland campaign tour. Here's Civic Media's James Kelly.
Congressman Tiffany's comments highlighted his intent to prevent the state's farmland from being purchased by foreign entities if elected as Wisconsin governor in November. He also shared his thoughts on the state's farmland being used for things like solar fields, wind-based power generation, and increasingly common data center developments.
We have these massive solar fields that are being built in Wisconsin, giant wind turbines, and now data centers. And it simply doesn't make sense that we would turn our beautiful farmland over to these developments when it's unnecessary. And also, we should make sure that local people have a say in this.
School funding is another topic that will be at the forefront of voters' minds in the November election. Asked how he plans to lower property taxes that have skyrocketed due to school referendums while also providing those districts with the funding they need to maintain their services if elected, Congressman Tiffany cited increases in the state budget over recent years as evidence that the state legislature can provide local municipalities with that funding.
There's plenty of money in Madison to be able to help out locals. Madison does not have a revenue problem. It has a spending problem. And it's time for Madison to help out those local municipalities and make sure that they have sufficient funding, including through shared revenue, that they can carry out what they need to get done.
The Republican congressman will face off with Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, now the Democratic nominee in the race for Wisconsin governor, in the November midterm election.
That's James Kelly. For Muskie 101 News, I'm Maddie Schaefer. Now a look at Northwoods News. I'm Maddie Schaefer. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources is closing several of its customer services today and tomorrow while staff attend training. Counter service at all DNR service centers will be unavailable Wednesday and Thursday, along with the agency's statewide call center and email service. The DNR says it scheduled the training for a time of year when license sales and phone calls are typically at their lowest. Emergency services will not be affected. The DNR tip line, emergency spills line, and the Wisconsin Emergency Management Hotline hotline will remain available. Many other services can still be handled online. That includes buying hunting and fishing licenses through Go Wild and registering boats and recreational vehicles. There's also many license agents throughout Wisconsin that can also provide boat and recreational vehicle renewal services, order ATV and UTV passes, and sell fishing and hunting licenses. DNR service centers, phone lines, and email service will return to normal hours on Friday, August 28th. 2 people were rescued after being pulled over Rainbow Falls in Gogebic County Sunday afternoon. According to a press release, the Gogebic County Sheriff's Office says deputies were dispatched to the falls near Black River Trail around 1:40 p.m. after initial reports that 2 people had gone over the falls. Witnesses also reported hearing yelling near Rainbow Falls. The Sheriff's Office says one person had attempted to cross the Black River and slipped. When a second person tried to help, the current pulled them both over the falls. Both were hoisted to safety by the Gogebic County Search and Rescue Team and suffered only minor injuries. Michigan State Police, U.S. Forest Service law enforcement, Ironwood Township Fire Department, and Beacon Ambulance also assisted with the response. I'm Maddie Schaefer, and you're listening to Northwoods News.
For Civic Media News, I'm Connie Fellman. Madison police are looking for suspects accused of attempting to burglarize a woman's home over the weekend. The police department explained yesterday the victim found 2 men in her bathroom and was able to scare them off by throwing her cane at them. The 2 suspects were allegedly going through medicine bottles when she found them, but they ran off before police arrived. It's unclear if they got away with anything, but the woman was not hurt during the incident. The Wisconsin DOT wants to hear from the public about their Americans with Disabilities Act transition plan. The plan highlights efforts to improve accessibility on Wisconsin's transportation system. It also aims to find the specific barriers within their facilities and transportation infrastructure. People can submit comments through an online comment form on WisDOT's website until September 17th. One person is injured after being shot in the foot in Madison. Madison police responded Friday afternoon to reports of the shooting. When police arrived, the suspect had already run away. Officers determined the victim had been shot in the bathroom. They were taken to the hospital and are expected to recover. The incident remains under investigation. A kangaroo is on the loose in Columbia County after escaping from a trailer. It happened Sunday morning near Portage when 4 kangaroos were being transferred between vehicles. The Wisconsin State Patrol says 2 of the animals were hit by vehicles and didn't survive, while a third was recovered by the owners. The 4th kangaroo ran off near Wisconsin 78 and Interstate 39 and is still unaccounted for. Troopers requested Wisconsinites not pull over on the side of the road to look for the missing animal. Wisconsin is receiving high marks as one of the most enjoyable states. Finance website WalletHub recently ranked the most fun states in America based on several key factors. The states were judged on the price of movie tickets, access to national parks, nightlife, and more. The Badger State was ranked 16th overall. In case you were wondering, California had the highest score and ranked first. A Wisconsin prosecutor has declined to charge Elon Musk after a dispute over a $1 million giveaway during last year's state Supreme Court campaign. La Crosse County District Attorney Tim Gernke says the evidence did not show that anyone received money for voting or agreeing to vote. Musk first said the rally was for people who had voted, then clarified that people had to sign a petition opposing activist judges to attend. The State Elections Commission referred the case after the rally in Green Bay, and the original prosecutors stepped aside because of a conflict of interest. Attorney General Josh Kaul has joined a multi-state lawsuit over federal grant rules that affect public safety programs in Wisconsin. The challenge focuses on about $6 million in potential state funding for law enforcement and juvenile justice. The Trump administration is requiring states to cooperate with Homeland Security immigration enforcement in order to receive the grants. Kaul calls that an abuse of power, while the administration has not been quoted in the lawsuit materials provided. Wisconsin Republicans have nearly twice as much campaign money as Democrats as the November midterms get closer. GOP party committees have brought in $43 million, while Democratic committees have raised $22.2 million, according to recent campaign finance filings. Much of the Republican total comes from 3 major donors, Richard and Elizabeth Eline and Diane Hendricks. Democrats say more money may come in now that their governor's primary is over. Republicans say their fundraising lead shows the party is united and ready to compete. A popular country music star is welcoming UW-Madison students back to school in style. The Wisconsin Union announced Kane Brown will be performing a free concert for students on Saturday, September 5th, just days after classes begin on campus. Students can get their free ticket online, while non-students can stream the concert on Amazon Live. And that's your state news update. I'm Connie Fellman for Civic Media News.
A lesson learned. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports, baseball. The Brewers and Mets go at it again tonight at Citibank Field in Queens, New York. The Brewers losing in a close one in extra innings to the Mets last night, 3-2. Manager Pat Murphy pulled Cooper Pratt out of the game when he failed to take second base after a hit to right field in the fifth inning.
I know who this kid is. He's a great kid. It's not laziness, but you got to have your head in the game because these games like today comes down to Lindor's great catch or an errant throw or whatever. So you've got to be locked in if you're going to play at this level.
NFL, the Arizona Cardinals in Green Bay to face the Packers in a joint practice session before Friday night's final preseason game. Tight end Tucker Kraft getting more playing time each day. Is he any closer to getting a new contract?
It's good to see him out there. I mean, he's worked his tail off. As far as the contract goes, it doesn't have any really effect on that. And then no real updates there.
That's the Packers GM Brian Gutekunst with sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
We may catch a sprinkle or a thunder shower at some point today. Otherwise, it'll be partly to mostly cloudy with a high right around 78 this afternoon. Tonight, clear. We'll drop into the low to mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny and not as humid with a high right around 79. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable.
That's your Hayward News Roundup from WBZH and WHSM. Find more news anytime at wbzh.fm/news. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts.